Hello, everybody. Good morning. It's about 7:25, a little after 7:28. I want to talk to you about water, racing pigeons and water. How important is it? Well, we all know water is very important. It's the essence of life. But what I'm going to talk about for you beginners to understand is how smart your pigeons are. They know where the water is, especially after training and being around and being in the loft and settling in. If you find your birds flying for 2 hours, 2.5 hours in the heat, when they come down, more than feed, even if they're very hungry, they want water. It's important to put that water in the same place all the time, that they can find it. If you put it in the loft, the pigeons will trap better. Now I'm going to tell you a little story. We're going to go back in time a little bit. You know how I like to go back in time. About the Lou race. On that day, there were a few flyers here when the birds were coming home. Two birds dropped and landed on a screen that I had out there. I didn't move, I didn't whistle, I didn't make any noise whatsoever. The other people were all talking and getting a little excited. It took about 10 seconds and them birds ran in. They went in because they knew where the water was. So on a race, when your birds return, they're looking for water. When I had the loft here, when I flew it here, and I had the landing board and I had the cages on it, and I kept the water outside. When them birds came home, they hit the top of the coop. Well, many of them did. A lot of them hit the landing board, but if they hit the top of the coop, they came right down because they wanted that water. And I knew that, so I would be on my way out there as soon as I saw the birds, so that they would hit the pad, and then they can have a drink. The one flyer said to me on the Lou race, he said, "I never seen that." And I looked at him and I said, "Never seen what?" He said, "Those birds came down and they ran right in. These are young birds. Young birds don't normally do that." I said, "Mine do." I said, "My birds are conditioned to come down and go in, whether it be for feed or whatever." In this case, it was probably the water. More birds are lost, probably because of coccidiosis or worms or internal parasites. Not because they can't keep coming. They can. They get home. But all these things create thirst. So your birds go down. Even well-kept, healthy birds. On a hot day, a race, if they make a mistake or something, They see water, they're going to go down. How many times have you clocked a bird and you seen mud on his feet? He went down for water. I even got them home with tar on their feet because the tar reflected if it was fresh, and they thought it was water. So water is very important. I told you I had a Saturn and I made a special crate. I always watered my birds when I got to the club and gave them a drink. It's important, very important. It's important that the pigeons get a drink before the race, and when they arrive home, they know where the water is so you can have quick trapping. You go on YouTube and you look at some of these fellas that fly their birds and they go in the coop and they show you the birds trapping after they've been flying for a while. They run for the water. So the water is very important, and the pigeons have to know where it is, so you keep it in the same place all the time. I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else. Well, I want to mention to you that if your birds fly, let's say, a half hour in the heat, and they don't fly a lot, and they come down, and they know where the water is, and they go for a drink right away, and they take a big drink, that's a hint that your bird's got a problem, either coxy or canker or worms or something like that. It creates thirst, especially coccidiosis. It creates thirst, and coxy is the hardest thing to get rid of. Let me tell you, you could work hard to get rid of coxy and still have a low count. You're trying for 0. With a low count, it has to be acceptable, but it shouldn't be. So these are all indications that the birds have a problem. If they're flying 2 hours, 2.5 hours or something, they're going to be thirsty. Probably not, but I would still want to check it. Okay, you beginners, pay attention to this video. It's extremely important that you understand where the water is. The birds know. Thank you for watching. Give it a thumbs up and please subscribe.